Hey there, Joe Alba with Fresh Pro USA here to talk about Bear Beans, brand new item to Cisco, and we can't be more excited to talk to you about it. Now, there's been a little bit of information has gone out about them, but we've gotten a lot of feedback of, hey, how do we sell it? What are the comps out there? Please explain the benefits and give us like a quick 1 or 2 minute video on how to get this thing in front of customers and better yet, how to close the sale. So that's what we're gonna do today. All right, so here's the thing. These bags right here, this is what you're gonna get in a box. There are 6 of these in a box. They're 4 pounds each. Those are going to compare favorably to these 6 number 10 cans that your customers are currently buying. And once you drain the sludge and the slop out, which we're going to do in a minute, you're gonna end up with about 4 pounds of beans, and we're gonna show you that here in just a moment. So it's a very even 1-to-1 comp. If you're worried about recipes or things like that, don't, because your customers effectively are already using this item in this 4-pound unit here. And most of them are either rinsing the product, some may be using the liquid that's in there. But for the most part, once they rinse the beans, we're at a very even number here. We think we're priced very well. We're very excited that we've been able to get a fresh, small batch kettle cooked bean into the same price range as a canned bean. So one of the things you're going to notice about the Bear Beans as well is the visual piece, okay? Once we're able to drain these out, and we'll do that live here, you're going to see the color difference. I'm not even going to get into the smell difference, frankly, or the taste difference. These beans, in case you don't know, they are packed dry into this can filled with a variety of liquids, including something called a firming agent, not quite sure what that is. And then it is boiled so that the beans actually cook inside the can, right? Bear beans are cooked in small batches, bagged like this, and ready to go. They're cooked to an al dente, so your customer is able to cook them and not lose some of the crunch or the snap or the feel of them, where these oftentimes will just smash right up. The beautiful thing about this bag as well, it's microwavable, it's steamable, and you can do that if you want to like break the beans up, but I will show you as I plate them here in a minute. They will just go on to your plate, into your pan, what have you, and they're ready to go. So one of the great selling points of this customer too is it's a woman-owned company, and I really believe that that is a great selling tool out there. Michelle Huff, the owner and the founder, has been in a lab, so to speak, for the last 4 years, and she's come out with a product that is absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the highest rated items, if not the highest rated item to ever go through the CES process. And that is from the end user, not necessarily the sites. So we're really excited to get this into your hands. We really want you guys to see really how to sell it, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I've got a colander here. I've already zeroed this scale out. We are going to pour this can, and for time's sake, I've already cut the lid off, and we're gonna dump all this sludge out. Here we go. Okay, great. So we're done now. We are at 2 pounds, 11 ounces. So quick math tells me that that's 2.75 pounds. This is a 6.75 pound can, okay? That makes it 4 pounds of usable beans on the inside and 2.5 pounds of unusable sludge. So what that means to the end user is they took all this time to do all this. I'll put the beans back in here. Here's where it's going to be really telling. I'm going to dump these beans onto this nice white plate here, and you're going to take a look at the color on them. And so they look like a traditional pinto bean, which is great, which is fine. Here is the Bear Beans. I'll grab a knife. We're going to cut it open, and this is literally all they have to do. There's no time working that, potentially metal cross-contamination, cutting a hand, you know, the waste, having to rinse out and recycle or just throw away this tin, which, by the way, right now there's a huge tin shortage in the United States at the time of this filming. And so that's why we believe the canned product is considerably higher than we expected it to be when we started doing our comparisons. But this is what a brand new, fresh kettle-cooked bean looks like, as opposed to something that's been sitting in liquid and God knows how long on a shelf somewhere. The visual representation is completely different. These beans are just going to squish without any effort. These have quite a bit of play to them, but they do squish. But even look at the inside of that too. It's going to give a more traditional look, especially for people that maybe are used to doing beans and themselves at home. This is going to look more like what they've been doing at home as opposed to this. Now, talking about who the comps are. Now that we've settled this, I don't think there's any question to me, and hopefully to you, this has a much better look to it. I guarantee the flavor profile will win. And there's not even any of the residual sludge still, as you can maybe see. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's still a bunch of sludge in this plate. Now, who are we going to sell this to? Number one, I would start with healthcare. One of the great selling features of Bare Beans, it's beans and water. That's it. There's absolutely no preservatives, no additives, no firming agents, nothing like that. It's not packed with sodium like canned beans are. And again, this isn't to speak poorly about the canned beans. They are what they are. They've been around for 1,000 years. Like whatever, they're great. But when you start talking about healthcare or maybe into the schools and they want to kind of control things like sodium, or they want to, get off of the I can't understand what that word means list. I know some companies are big on that. This is going to be your winner right here. So literally nothing but water and beans. That's it. Okay. We're working to get approved for some of the major companies that approve products for healthcare. We're very close to being on their lists now. And hopefully by the time of launch, we will be. That's going to be a big boon for you all as you're out there trying to sell. If you have healthcare, if you have a retirement home, if you have assisted living, if you have those kinds of things, something like this is going to be amazing. It's a wonderful source of protein. If somebody wants to add salt to it, they can, but we're not going to put it in there for them, okay? And we're trying to do everything we can at Bare Beans to put healthy, quick, usable products in people's hands and get away from the traditional, okay? And again, this isn't going to work for everybody. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opposition out there. But I think that if you can get a product into their hands and do a cutting similar to this, it's really going to open their eyes, okay? One other thing, I believe I mentioned schools. One thing with schools, healthcare, anywhere where there are massive quantities of things being bought. Another beautiful thing about Bare Beans is it's a 25-pound box. There are 6 4-pound bags and a 1-pound box. With these cans, they're 6.75 pounds each because you're carting around 2.5 pounds of sludge for each can. So that means there's 15 pounds of waste that people are throwing on their shoulder, hoisting around, putting in racks, whatever their situation may be. And if we can get people to stop using 42-pound boxes and muscling those around and throw around a 25-pound box, that's a really big win there too, especially if you're buying multiple cases a day. One other thing to keep in mind, this has to be kept cold, okay? We want to keep this in the fridge. These, of course, can be stored in dry, but they don't take up much space at all. As you can see, I'm going to grab a bag real quick. As you can see, 6 of these in a box, and this is a 4-pounder, believe it or don't. We've had a tremendous amount of luck in southern Idaho getting school districts converted from cans over to this, and that was really because they saw the value. We know that it works. We know that it's a winner, and we want to give you guys as many tools as we can to get out there and feel comfortable about it. So lastly, as we talk about comps and who we want to try to start with or sell this product to, at this point, I think it's best to stay away from users of dry beans, except for if you've been in discussions with your customer and labor is an issue. If labor is an issue, this is an absolute win. We're just afraid that being able to buy them in bulk in mass pound quantity bags and then soaking them overnight and all the effort that goes with it, if someone's willing to throw that labor at it, maybe they don't count the labor, maybe it's family, maybe they need to employ the people for some other reason. But if you've got some people that do use the bag beans or the dry beans and they have expressed that labor is an issue, then by all means, let's go for them. But I don't think I would start there. I think high-end fusion, or maybe a little bit higher level fusion type restaurants or elevated Mexican food, let's say. And again, this is just for the pinto beans. We've got black beans and we've also got garbanzo beans. Garbanzo's great for hummus. It's great for Mediterranean restaurants, say Greek restaurants, people that are doing their own. Bare Beans started selling their garbanzos to a local Idaho hummus manufacturer, and their sales have doubled since they started using the Bare Beans versus the canned garbanzos. So it really is a dynamic product. Right now, clearly I'm focusing on the pintos, but please do not forget about the black or the garbanzos. We're very excited about this entire launch. If you want to see more videos, reach out to myself. My email will flash across the screen right here. If you'd like to have more information, more POS, what have you, please get with me and let's see what we can do. Good luck out there. We think we've got a winner of a product and we think you guys are going to do great with it. And thank you so much. Have a great day.